After 16 years, my family ready to reconnect with me after abandoning me. This tale traces back 25 years to 1998, when I, then 17 years old, now 42, dwelled in a small town in central Mexico. The genesis of this narrative coincides with my high school years, where I struck a friendship with Lily, a classmate. Our camaraderie blossomed swiftly, prompting an invitation from Lily to her abode, an offer I accepted without hesitation. Upon arrival, we delved into academic tasks before diverting our attention to video games. In a serendipitous twist, the entrance of a girl resembling Lily interrupted our gaming session. To my surprise, this doppelganger was none other than Lily's twin sister, Rachel. Engaging in initial banter, the trio soon dwindled to a tete-a-tete between Rachel and myself, culminating in a favorable first encounter. Though recollections may be hazy, the gist remains clear. Subsequent to this inaugural rendezvous, Rachel and I fostered a connection. Our shared moments burgeoned into walks and leisurely outings, gradually nurturing an affection that transcended mere friendship. Several dates ensued, leading to the formalization of our relationship at the age of 19. It's essential to note that Rachel faces two disabilities: congenital blindness and cardiac arrhythmia, the latter diagnosed at the age of 16. Initially, adapting to life with a disabled partner posed challenges, especially considering Rachel's significant health concerns compared to Lily's minor myopia. Driven by both personal resolve and the encouragement of Rachel's family, I made the decision to pivot from my accounting studies to pursue medicine. This transition involved undertaking courses and specialized training, primarily focused on managing Rachel's cardiac arrhythmia. Despite the initial complexity, my commitment stemmed from a deep love for her. Ensuring her well-being became my utmost priority. At that juncture, Rachel embodied what some might term the epitome of perfection. Beyond her physical beauty, her personality radiated brilliance. Intelligent, charismatic, empathetic, nurturing, and affectionate. Her ability to connect deeply with others garnered her widespread admiration and affection within our small community. In the year 2000, our romance blossomed as Rachel and I pursued our college education. Our families rejoiced in our union, having been close even before our relationship began. The knowledge of our love filled them with immense joy. My mother and Rachel's mother shared a strong friendship, while my father found camaraderie in discussing work matters with Rachel's mother. My bond with Rachel's family extended deep, to the extent that I had the honor of serving as the best man at her older sister's wedding. Despite the absence of Rachel's father, who had passed away when she was merely 7 years old, his memory remained cherished within her family. At that time, my own family comprised my parents and my 3 younger siblings. Isaac, who was a year younger than me, Louis, 3 years my junior, and Daniel, 4 years younger than me. Our familial structure was complemented by Rachel's family, which included her mother Tanya, her older sister Sophia, and her twin sister Lily, in addition to Rachel herself. By 2003, Rachel and I had completed our college education, and at the age of 22, made the decision to embark on the journey of marriage. The announcement of our impending union filled our families with immense joy, and our wedding day became a cherished memory, characterized by perfection in every detail, from the venue to the cuisine to the music. With the vows exchanged, we embarked on the adventure of married life, moving in together to commence our shared journey. In the initial days following our wedding, I observed a fleeting sense of unease in Rachel, which she attributed to post-wedding stress. However, her spirits soon lifted, and she resumed her usual vibrant self. A month later, our familial sphere was shaken by the sudden disappearance of Lily, Rachel's twin sister. Lily, who worked as an accountant in a city bank, had vanished without a trace, disrupting our customary Friday evening gatherings. Concerned, I reached out to Rachel, only to be met with silence on the matter. It wasn't until Rachel's mother, Tanya, divulged the grim truth that the gravity of the situation became clear. According to Tanya, Lily had been apprehended and subsequently convicted for actions deemed as betrayal and theft, tarnishing the family's reputation in the process. The severity of Lily's transgressions led to a 13-year prison sentence, marking the culmination of a tragic saga that estranged her from her family entirely. The depths of their rejection were such that they refused to attend her trial, severing all ties once her fate was sealed. Over the following 2 years, life settled into a tranquil rhythm. I found employment as an accountant at a small city firm, while Rachel dedicated herself to teaching visually impaired individuals. Our marriage flourished, characterized by its unwavering love and communication. Despite the challenges posed by Rachel's disabilities, our emotional and physical bond remained strong. While my professional commitments often demanded much of my time, I made a conscious effort to allocate at least 3 hours each day to spend with Rachel, ensuring we nurtured our relationship. We maintained a weekly date night, and thoughts of starting a family began to occupy our conversations. In 2005, I embarked on a business trip alongside some colleagues to finalize a lucrative deal for our company. The only significant person involved was a former coworker named Emma, with whom I had minimal interaction beyond professional duties. After successfully concluding the negotiations, my coworkers suggested celebrating at a local bar. The celebration unfolded predictably, with most of my colleagues indulging in excessive drinking. Personally, I refrained from overindulgence, engaging instead in conversation with various coworkers. Eventually, I decided to call it a night and headed back to our hotel. As I made my exit, I unexpectedly collided with Emma, who, like many others, was visibly intoxicated. Despite her inebriated state, I attempted to assist her to her feet, but her condition rendered it impossible. Sensing the need to intervene, one of my companions suggested escorting Emma back to the hotel, a proposition to which I assented. Offering her support, I guided Emma back, intending to leave her at the door of her room. However, circumstances led me to carry her all the way to her bed before promptly returning to my own room. The following day passed uneventfully, and we all departed for our respective homes without incident. However, 4 days later, upon returning from work, I was greeted by the unexpected sight of my parents' and Tanya's vehicles parked outside my residence. Upon stepping into the living room, I was met with a scene of palpable fury. Rachel's mother, her older sister, and my own parents stood with stern expressions, while Rachel sat on the couch, tears streaming down her face. She was 4 weeks pregnant at the time. Before I could fully grasp the situation, Sophia delivered a resounding slap across my face, igniting a cacophony of accusatory screams. Confused and bewildered, I demanded an explanation for their rage. Rachel finally spoke, uttering only the words, "Why did you do that?" Her question bewildered me, and I pressed for clarification. Suddenly, the room erupted with accusations of infidelity, all directed at me. Tanya revealed that Emma had approached her with a fabricated tale of an affair between us, alleging that it began as an emotional betrayal and escalated into a physical relationship during my recent business trip. Emma's narrative, apparently laced with cruel remarks about Rishal's condition, had been disturbingly convincing. Despite vehement denials and pleas for belief, I found myself confronted with damning testimony from fellow trip attendees, confirming they had seen me escort Emma back to the hotel alone, an action born out of necessity, not desire. Despite my desperate appeals, Rachel declared her desire for a divorce, and amidst the chaos of insults and recriminations, I was summarily expelled from my own home. The ensuing months plunged me into a harrowing ordeal. Forced to resign from my job amidst the scandal that engulfed me, life became a relentless onslaught of hatred and condemnation. In our tight-knit community, where everyone knew everyone else, the venom directed at me manifested not only in verbal assaults but also in physical attacks. My own family disowned me, branding me a disgrace, while my siblings echoed the sentiments of rejection and insult. Rishal's family mirrored this hostility, severing all ties and refusing to acknowledge my existence, Even attempts to seek solace from friends were met with rejection. During this tumultuous period, my brother Lewis's behavior stood out, as he made cryptic remarks that hinted at his involvement in comforting Rachel during the divorce proceedings, an unsettling revelation I would later uncover. The divorce proceedings dragged on for a year, during which I was prohibited from any direct contact with Rachel, all communication filtered through legal channels. In 2006, the grueling process concluded, leaving me stripped of nearly everything. Adultery carried severe consequences in our jurisdiction, resulting in substantial financial penalties. While I managed to evade alimony payments through legal negotiations, the fallout still saw me relinquishing my home, car, 80% of my savings, and a hefty compensation sum of $160,000. With the ink barely dry on the divorce decree, both my family and Rachel's family cut all remaining ties. The last morsel of information I gleaned was the disquieting news that my brother Lewis had begun a relationship with Rachel. At that juncture, my world lay in ruins. Bereft of family, friends, and reputation, I found myself ostracized by the very community I once called home. Job prospects evaporated as I became a pariah in the eyes of those around me. The weight of despair bore heavily upon me, leading me to contemplate ending my own life, though ultimately I lacked the courage to follow through. Instead, I made the decision to liquidate what little remained of my possessions and depart from that place. Seeking solace in distance, I resettled in a city 6 hours away, nestled in the northern reaches of Mexico. With meager funds at my disposal, I embarked on a journey of survival, taking up menial jobs to eke out a living. In due time, I discerned an opportunity amidst the challenges that surrounded me, observing a demand for tax guidance and audit assistance among local businesses. I began offering my expertise in these areas. This newfound venture marked the genesis of a small yet moderately successful consulting and financial advisory firm by 2007. However, despite this semblance of economic stability, I grappled with profound emotional turmoil, plagued by issues of confidence and self-worth. It was only when I attained a measure of financial security that I could afford to seek therapy, a decision that proved instrumental in confronting and overcoming my emotional demons. With the guidance of my therapist, I delved into various facets of my past experiences, addressing my familial dynamics, friendships, and the complexities of my former marriage. Wrestling with feelings of self-blame and bewilderment over the betrayal, I found solace in exploring the underlying causes of my ordeal, ultimately receiving a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder exacerbated by an anxiety disorder. Acknowledging that I was not culpable for the events that transpired, I embarked on a journey of healing. Through dedication to physical fitness, newfound hobbies like gardening and kickboxing, and a steadfast focus on my professional endeavors, I gradually reclaimed control over my life. While the specter of betrayal still lingered, I found solace in forming new connections, aided by the understanding and empathy of newfound friends. Over the course of the subsequent years, my small consultancy experienced significant growth, alleviating financial concerns and affording me a sense of stability. Emotionally, I found myself in a much healthier place as my confidence flourished and my fear of social interaction gradually waned. Encircled by understanding companions who accepted me for who I was, I finally attained a sense of peace and acceptance within myself. The year 2009 marked a pivotal moment for my growing company, necessitating the expansion of our personnel, particularly in the accounting department. Amidst the influx of job applications, one name caught my attention: Lily, a curious coincidence given my past acquaintance with someone of the same name. However, the realization dawned upon me during the interview that this Lily was none other than my ex-wife's twin sister. Despite the initial discomfort evoked by memories of the past, I conducted the interview with professionalism, ultimately recognizing Lily's exceptional qualifications for the position. Setting aside personal history, I extended her an offer, which she accepted, joining our team shortly thereafter. Initially, our interactions remained strictly professional, limited to work-related matters. In the ensuing months, Lily maintained a reserved demeanor, focusing solely on her tasks and avoiding social interactions. However, as the workload increased, she volunteered to assist with overtime projects, a gesture I gratefully accepted. As Lily and I found ourselves spending more time together during overtime hours, our interactions remained largely silent until she nervously extended an invitation for a drink one evening. Though initially hesitant, I accepted, feeling the weight of stress bearing down on me. While our outing was unremarkable, it provided a welcome respite, paving the way for renewed camaraderie. Over time, our formal friendship blossomed, marked by candid conversations, shared lunch breaks, and Friday evening drinks reminiscent of old times. During one such outing, I confided in Lily about the tumultuous events surrounding my divorce for Rachel, including the betrayal by Emma and the subsequent fallout with our families. Lily, visibly taken aback, questioned whether a single lie warranted such severe consequences. Her empathy and willingness to listen provided solace, lifting a burden I had long carried alone. Despite her remarkable contributions to the company, I couldn't shake the feeling that something troubled Lily. Sensing her struggles with teamwork and interpersonal dynamics, I broached the subject with her, offering a supportive ear. In time, Lily confided in me, revealing the circumstances that led to her arrest and imprisonment. Lily's employment at the bank in our former city shed light on the events leading to her arrest. Initially tasked with routine accounting duties, she eventually gained access to a significant database containing detailed client information, enhancing her efficiency. However, alongside another colleague, she found herself embroiled in a dire situation when numerous account holders reported drained savings and missing funds. Investigations revealed a sinister plot orchestrated by a criminal syndicate, likely associated with local cartels. Exploiting the Access database, they systematically emptied multiple accounts, triggering widespread panic and prompting the bank to enforce a temporary freeze, known colloquially as a corralito. Despite efforts to recover the stolen funds and subsequent arrests, some perpetrators managed to evade capture, leaving a trail of financial devastation in their wake. Lily found herself ensnared in the web of suspicion during the investigation, with her and her co-worker emerging as prime suspects due to their access to the incriminating database. However, her colleagues' abrupt resignation and subsequent disappearance left Lily isolated as the sole target of scrutiny. The criminals implicated her as an accomplice, alleging that someone within the bank facilitated their nefarious scheme. Despite protestations of innocence, Lily was ultimately deemed guilty, bearing the brunt of blame for the financial debacle. It's plausible that she served as a convenient scapegoat to expedite closure on the case, a tactic not uncommon in the murky realm of law enforcement in Mexico. Amidst the ordeal, Lily faced betrayal on multiple fronts, most notably from her own family. Tensions within her familial relationships exacerbated the situation, particularly with her mother, who staunchly refused to believe in her innocence. Tanya's condemnation, coupled with the irrevocable severance of familial ties, plunged Lily into profound despair, leaving her utterly abandoned and shattered. As Lily's story unfolded, I found myself grappling with a mix of guilt and empathy, realizing the depth of the injustice she endured. She reassured me that my absence wasn't by choice, as her mother, Tanya, wielded strict control over her communication, denying any attempts at contact. Despite my sincere apologies, Lily absolved me of blame, recognizing the constraints imposed upon our interactions. Curiosity led me to inquire about her eventual release from prison, to which she recounted a breakthrough stemming from the arrest of an escaped accomplice. This individual, seeking leniency, provided crucial information that exonerated Lily, revealing her former partner's true involvement in the criminal enterprise. With insufficient evidence to implicate her, Lily was vindicated and released, her record cleared of any wrongdoing. However, the aftermath of her incarceration proved equally harrowing. Rejection permeated every facet of her life, as family and friends turned their backs on her, refusing to acknowledge her innocence. Attempts to secure employment were thwarted by the stain of her previous ordeal, forcing her to relocate in search of a fresh start. Yet the scars of her trauma lingered, manifesting in difficulty forming connections, trust issues, and haunting nightmares from her time behind bars. It was a poignant moment of empathy as I witnessed the toll Lily's experiences had taken on her. Determined to support her on her path to healing, I suggested therapy, offering to cover the expenses as a gesture of apology for my past absence. Initially hesitant, Lily eventually relented, agreeing to attend sessions with the same therapist I was seeing. Her diagnosis of post-traumatic stress syndrome, depression, anxiety, confidence disorders, and sleeping problems underscored the depth of her struggles. Accompanying her to therapy sessions, I witnessed her gradual transformation as she engaged in healing practices and adhered to prescribed treatments, including antidepressants and participation in a program for conscientious objectors with prison backgrounds. As Lily's journey toward recovery unfolded, I found solace in witnessing her gradual emergence from the shadows of her trauma. Her once pervasive fears and anxieties began to wane, replaced by newfound confidence and a willingness to connect with others. Together, we embarked on physical activities like gym workouts and kickboxing classes, fostering camaraderie and mutual growth as we navigated life's challenges side by side. As 2012 unfolded, Lily and I found ourselves drawn closer together, both in our professional endeavors and personal interactions. In the workplace, Lily seamlessly assumed the role of my trusted confidant, becoming an indispensable asset to our company. On a personal level, our bond deepened as we shared moments of leisure, leaning on each other for support during our respective therapy sessions. However, amidst this growing closeness, I found myself grappling with unexpected emotions. Despite my initial trepidation, I gradually realized that my feelings for Lily transcended mere friendship. Yet, haunted by past heartbreak and wary of repeating history, I hesitated to acknowledge these burgeoning sentiments, fearing they were merely a manifestation of unresolved issues from my previous relationship. After seeking counsel from both my therapist and trusted friends, I confronted my fears and confronted my feelings head-on. It became clear to me that my affection for Lily stemmed from a genuine appreciation of her unique qualities and character, rather than a subconscious desire to reclaim the past. Summoning courage, I chose a moment outside the confines of our usual routine to lay bare my heart to Lily. I poured out my emotions, expressing how profoundly she had touched my life and how my feelings for her had blossomed into something deeper and more profound. In that poignant moment, Lily's tears mirrored my own, and her vulnerability laid bare the depth of her emotions. As she hesitantly sought confirmation of my feelings, I felt a surge of anxiety, fearing rejection. Yet, with unwavering conviction, I affirmed the sincerity of my affection. Her initial reaction was one of guarded apprehension, but soon, a wave of raw emotion swept over us both. In a heartfelt confession, Lily revealed that her feelings for me had blossomed in the warmth of my care and support. She spoke of the profound impact I had made on her life, painting a picture of loneliness punctuated by my steadfast presence. Amidst tears and embraces, Lily bared her soul, laying bare her fears and insecurities. She had harbored doubts, afraid of rejection, and hesitant to risk her heart once more. Yet, as she found solace in my embrace, I vowed to stand by her side, unconditionally, offering reassurance and unwavering support. In a moment of shared vulnerability, we made a silent pact to weather whatever storms lay ahead, finding solace in each other's love and unwavering commitment. Together, we forged a bond built on trust, understanding, and the promise of a brighter future. From that pivotal moment forward, Lily and I embarked on a journey together, navigating the complexities of our shared past and the challenges of forging a new future. Despite initial hurdles stemming from our individual traumas and fears, we made a conscious decision not to let our past dictate our happiness. Our relationship was a gradual process, marked by moments of tension and doubt as we confronted our trust issues and fears of betrayal. Yet, fueled by our deep bond and unwavering commitment to one another, we found the strength and clarity needed to confront and overcome our inner demons. In early 2015, Lily and I exchanged vows in an intimate ceremony, opting for a small gathering with only our closest companions. Purposefully excluding our families from the guest list, we sought the counsel of our therapist in making this decision, ultimately prioritizing our own emotional well-being. Set against the backdrop of a picturesque beach, our wedding was a celebration of love and resilience. With the soothing melody of the waves and the golden hues of the sunset as our witnesses, we sealed our union in the presence of 15 cherished friends, including our therapist and his wife. One of the most cherished memories from our wedding was witnessing Lily's graceful walk down the aisle, adorned in her exquisite wedding gown. However, the moment etched deepest in my heart is the look on her face as I slipped the ring onto her finger, a testament to the trials and triumphs we endured to reach that milestone. Words fail to capture the overwhelming joy I felt, seeing her radiant smile illuminate the moment. Just a few weeks after our nuptials, we received the joyous news of Lily's pregnancy. A delightful surprise that filled us initially with nervous anticipation, soon replaced by boundless excitement and gratitude. Embracing this new chapter as the dawn of our shared journey, we welcome the prospect of parenthood with open arms, brimming with hope for our future together. The arrival of Alba in late 2015 brought an indescribable joy to our lives. Holding her in our arms for the first time, experiencing the tender bond of skin-to-skin contact, was a profound moment that filled our hearts with overwhelming love and awe. Witnessing her nestled in Lily's embrace, I was overcome with emotions that words fail to capture adequately. In the initial months, as any new parents would attest, we faced the challenges of sleepless nights, round-the-clock care, and the demands of caring for a newborn. Despite the exhaustion and inevitable trials, we poured our hearts into nurturing Alba, ensuring she received the love, attention, and care she deserved. Our home was filled with the laughter and joy of friends and family eager to meet our precious addition, providing a supportive network during those early days. As the years passed, Lily and I devoted ourselves to fostering a nurturing environment for Alba's growth and development. Despite the juggling act of balancing work and parenting, we prioritized quality time with our daughter, striving to instill values of love, respect, and trust from her earliest days. Our journey as a family was marked by shared moments of laughter, learning, and boundless love, laying the foundation for a bright and promising future for our little Alba. Coming to the present day, I am delighted to share that I am now the proud father of a charming 7-year-old daughter, and I am blessed with the most wonderful wife I could have ever hoped for. As you followed through my narrative, the journey has been anything but smooth sailing, peppered with both triumphs and tribulations over the years. Yet, amidst the challenges, I wouldn't alter a single aspect of my life. Surrounded by exceptional individuals who have stood by me through thick and thin, I find myself content beyond measure. You might be curious to know that there's more to our story. Since last year, both Lily and I have reestablished contact with our respective families. However, I chose not to delve into this aspect earlier, as I felt the narrative had already grown quite lengthy. I am truly grateful for the unwavering support that the initial publication received, albeit it being deleted. Looking ahead, I am eager to continue sharing our journey and updating you on the developments that unfolded in 2022 and thus far in 2023.